After I refused the graduation trip, my stepmother and stepsister went crazy with anxiety after the college entrance exams. The whole class decided to go on a graduation trip together, with the destination being the campsite at the mountain top. I was about to make the payment when suddenly a barrage of bullet comments appeared before my eyes. Quick, pay up. Can't wait for tomorrow night's camping trip when the supporting female character gets dragged into the woods by escaped convicts and violated until she's disabled. Once she goes insane, our precious girl will be the Song family's only young mistress. LOL. The female side character still thinks her childhood sweetheart will confess to her during their graduation trip. Little does she know, tomorrow night he'll slip her a sleeping pill, then lose his virginity to our precious girl in the tent next to hers. After reading the bullet comments, I immediately cancelled my payment for the group trip, but just as I cancelled the payment, urgent knocking erupted at my door. Ran. Shin told me you didn't pay for the graduation trip. Are you short on money? Auntie will transfer it to you right away. The stepmother's anxious voice came from outside the door. I froze completely. Opening the door, the stepmother, with a forced smile, shoved a bank card into my hand. Ran. The high school graduation trip is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. How can you not go? Are you short on money? Here, take this. There's 200,000 in this card. Consider it a graduation gift from Auntie. Don't just stand there. Hurry up and sign up in the group chat. I held the card and asked, Auntie, how did you know I withdrew the payment chain in the class group chat? The stepmother's face stiffened, then she laughed awkwardly. I heard it from Shin. I was even more puzzled. But Shin isn't in our class group chat either. My stepsister and I are children from a blended family. I was born to my father and his first wife. After my mother died in a car accident, it took less than a month for my father to bring Ning Wan and her daughter into our home. My stepsister is a year younger than me, originally named Lu Xin. She immediately changed her name to Song Anshin after her mother married into our family. Just to please my father, although Song Anshin and I attend the same school, I'm in the graduating senior class, 12th grade, while she's a junior, 11th grade. We're not even in the same grade, so how did Song Anshin know I withdrew the payment chain in the class group? Under my intense stare, Song Anshin panicked and stammered an explanation. I heard it from a classmate. Maybe their older sibling is in the graduating class. Just then, the bullet comments appeared again. It was the male lead Lu Jingxian who told her, I really can't stand the female supporting character. Why couldn't she just take the money? Why ask so many annoying questions? Exactly. If the female supporting character hadn't cancelled the payment, the male lead would have seen our darling in the navy uniform just now. The male lead spent the whole night video chatting with our darling. Of course he told her everything. Seeing the barrage comments, I was completely stunned. The male lead, Lu Jingxian, is it the same Lu Jingxian I grew up with since childhood? When did he and Song Anshin start their relationship? Lu Jingxian and I grew up together as childhood sweethearts, living in an urban village when we were kids back then. My parents were still in the early stages of starting their business and could only afford to live in that urban village. Lu Jingxian was an illegitimate child abandoned by his birth mother, living with his grandparents who rented the house next to ours. The urban village had poor security. One day after school when I was walking home alone late, I was nearly abducted by human traffickers. At the critical moment, Lu Jingxian rushed over, bit the human trafficker hard, and pulled me to run desperately towards home. From then on, I became like a little tail, following Lu Jingxian all day long, and this went on for 12 years. Later, my parents succeeded in their business, and our family moved to an affluent neighborhood. At a banquet, I recognized Lu Jingxuan's biological father through me. Lu's father learned of Lu Jingxuan's existence. Coincidentally, at that time, the eldest son of the Lu family fell seriously ill, probably worried that his eldest son might not recover. Lu's father persuaded Lu's mother to bring Lu Jingxian back to the Lu family to acknowledge his ancestry. When Lu Jingxian first arrived at the Lu family, he was an illegitimate child looked down upon by everyone. As for me, after my birth mother suddenly passed away and my stepmother entered the picture, I became an unwanted little wretch, and so, supporting each other, we made it through the most difficult years of adolescence. I stood by him as he endured the humiliations from the rich second-generation heirs. He stood by me as I dealt with my sweet-talking but cruel stepmother. Later, the eldest son of the Lu family went abroad for medical treatment, and Lu Jingxian gradually gained the favor of his father. I remember Lu Jingxuan's promise to me, swearing to protect me for a lifetime. I also remember Lu Jingxian telling me that once he turned 18, he would come to my family to propose and get engaged to me. That way, my father and stepmother would have no reason to arrange a marriage for me with someone I didn't like. I foolishly waited for Lu Jingxuan's salvation. Little did I know that in the end, the first one to push me into the abyss would actually be Lu Jingxian. As my thoughts returned, I saw the barrage comments saying that Lu Jingxian and my stepsister Song Anqin planned to take advantage of the graduation trip to ruin my innocence. Given my personality, I would definitely reject Lu Jingxuan's confession when the time comes. The Lu family and the Song family had already secretly agreed to arrange a marriage alliance. If I refused Lu Jingxian, he could then officially become engaged to my stepsister. After reading the comments, I felt as if I had plunged into an ice cellar. It wasn't until Song Anqin picked up my phone from the table and forcibly shoved it into my hand. Sister, is your class's relay almost over? Hurry up and pay to sign up. High school graduation trip, it's only once in a lifetime, and besides, Brother Lu will be going this time too. Don't you want to go on the graduation trip with Brother Lu? The phone in my hand suddenly became unusually hot to the touch. I tried to stall for time and forced a smile, saying, all right, then I'll call Lu Jingxian first to see if he signed up. Big Brother Lu signed up long ago. My stepsister blurted out eagerly, how do you know he signed up? I fixed her with a piercing gaze. Under my intense stare, my stepsister faltered momentarily before stammering, I just guessed. You and Big Brother Lu are so close, he'd definitely join your graduation trip. Right, I looked up, and once again, a dense barrage of comments appeared in mid-air. Woo-woo, poor little sister, secretly in love with her brother-in-law, yet forced to watch him go on graduation trip with her sister. It's okay. It's okay, the male lead just wants to see our little sister get jealous for him. Actually, the male lead has already secretly paid for her, planning to take her on the graduation trip as a family member. So sweet, I'm melting. What's wrong with the female supporting character? One person signed up and paid, dragging on for ages. Hurry up and continue the payment chain. Quick, quick, I want to see this sweet and thrilling forbidden romance between the male lead and the little sister. My whole body was icy cold, yet my fingers disobediently dialed Lu Jingxuan's number. Lu Jingxian, are you busy? Yeah, still playing games with them. What's up? If nothing important, I'll hang up first. Hearing his perfunctory reply, I couldn't help but let out a bitter laugh. It turns out he had long been impatient with me. How could I have only realized it just now? Suppressing the bitterness in my heart, I held back my tears and asked, Xinqian said you'd go on the graduation trip with me. Is that true? I deliberately set a trap in my words. However, Lu Jingxian, eager to secretly video chat with his stepsister, stepped into the trap without hesitation. Yeah, weren't you looking forward to the high school graduation trip for a long time? Why did you cancel the group payment? Be good, go quickly and join the class group chain. Is the money not enough? If not, I'll help you out. Hearing Lu Jingxuan's answer, my heart, which had been hanging in suspense, finally died. Growing up with me like childhood sweethearts, the childhood friend who swore he'd marry no one but me, he actually ended up with my most hated stepsister. The 12 years of relying on each other. I don't want to give up so easily, I said in a hoarse voice, almost humbly, over the phone. Lu Jingxian, I don't want to go camping with the class anymore. You know I've been afraid of the dark since childhood. Will you come to Norway with me? Just the two of us. They say Norway in July has midnight sun. I want to see it. Before I could finish speaking, Lu Jingxian impatiently scolded me. Song Anren, when did you become so selfish and so unsociable? It's been said it's a graduation trip. Of course the whole class should act together. Didn't you see the class group chat? You suddenly cancelled the payment chain. What will the classmates think? Besides, how old are you still playing the afraid of the dark card? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at if word gets out? All right, hurry up and join the group chain to pay the fee. With that, before I could react, she hung up the phone directly. Hearing the scolding voice on the phone, my stepsister smirked triumphantly. Sis, I wasn't lying to you, was I? Brother Lu really signed up, so you should hurry up and register. 2. I really love Lu Jingxian, but I love myself more. Knowing full well that this graduation trip was dangerous, of course I wouldn't foolishly sign up for it. I casually plugged my phone into the charging cable and said to my stepsister, my phone ran out of battery, I'll go take a shower first. I can still sign up after showering. Unexpectedly, as soon as I finished showering and checked my phone, the class group's roll call payment had already ended. My name was conspicuously listed as the last one on the payment roster, but I clearly had a password set on my phone. Who helped me with the roll call payment? For a moment, a name flashed into my mind, Lu Jingxian. It must be him in this world. Only Lu Jingxian knows my phone's lock screen password, because my password is the day he rescued me from the traffickers. The thought of my treasured secret being freely shared by Lu Jingxian with my stepsister filled me with both anger and resentment, but the urgent matter at hand was to quickly cancel the payment for the group activity. I immediately sent a private message to the class monitor who initiated the group activity, explaining that I wasn't feeling well and wanted to withdraw from tomorrow's graduation trip. Fortunately, the monitor had just confirmed receipt of the payment but hadn't yet handed it over to the travel agency. Upon hearing that I was too ill to go, they promptly refunded the money. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief, but then noticed the class monitor's hesitation. Monitor, is there something else? On the other end of the line, the class monitor paused for a moment before cautiously asking, Song Anran, did you know that your younger sister is also coming with us on this graduation trip? Of course I know. That mysterious comment just now already spoiled it for me. Seeing that I remained silent, the class monitor immediately stood up for me. I really don't know what Lu Jingxian was thinking, actually registering your sister under family member status. I remember you two were the ones dating, right, Anran? Maybe you should still come with us. I'm afraid if you don't show up, Lu Jingxian and your sister might. Anyone who could get into the elite class of City No. 1 high school is no fool. The class monitor clearly noticed that Lu Jingxian has taken a liking to my stepsister. After all, my stepsister and I are family, and the class monitor didn't want to disrupt our family harmony. She could only hint at me to be wary of my stepsister and not let her steal you away. I gave a bitter laugh, unable to outright reject the class monitor's well-meaning advice, so I vaguely said I would think about it further. Little did I know, not long after, the class monitor called me again. Anran, I misunderstood Lu Jingxian. He's actually quite good to you. I heard you applied for a refund, so I immediately paid it for you. Looks like he still cares about you. Then it's settled. We'll meet at the school gate at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Lu Jingxian said he'll pick you up. Hanging up the phone, I felt a chill run down my spine. Why? If he changes his heart and no longer likes me, can't we just part ways amicably if he says so? Why must you drive me to my death? At that very moment, the barrage of comments above my head appeared once again. Suddenly, the barrage split into two factions, arguing fiercely. One side said, Song Anran must go on the graduation trip. If she doesn't go, nothing will happen. If nothing happens to her, how can our little sister become the sole heiress of the Song family? Exactly. The male lead's mother has always looked down on our little sister for not being biologically from the Song family, and her dowry isn't much either. If the female supporting character doesn't have an accident, how can our little sister inherit the billions in dowry left by the female supporting character's mother? The other side said. Seeing this, I suddenly feel a bit strange. Isn't the female lead's character supposed to be calm, gentle, and unambitious? How come she now wants to seize the dowry left by the female supporting character's mother? I also think the male lead's character has kind of fallen apart. If he wants the female lead to have a grand wedding with a lavish dowry, he should earn money himself to provide for her. Why kill the female secondary character and steal her dowry? The female lead's character has also fallen apart, hasn't she? She was supposed to be someone who doesn't compete or fight for anything, but now she's stealing her sister's boyfriend and her sister's dowry. I suddenly feel sorry for the female secondary character. She's the one who suffered with the male lead, and now that he's about to inherit the family business, he's fallen for his own sister and even wants to kill her, taking the female secondary character's dowry to give to the female lead. Such a disgusting couple. I really can't get into it. Yes, a virtuous wife helps me fulfill my lofty ambitions, and I send that virtuous wife to her death. Is this the ending Lu Jingxian arranged for me? But why should I be the one to die? The class monitor told me that since Lu Jingxian paid the travel agency directly, getting a refund now would be impossible. I immediately opened my phone and bought the earliest train ticket back to my grandmother's house. Afraid of being discovered by my stepmother and stepsister, I didn't dare to pack too much. I only took a school bag containing a warm coat, my ID card, and some cash. But at that moment, I suddenly realized that the room door had been locked from the outside, and I couldn't open it no matter what. I was both shocked and furious, about to call the housekeeper Uncle Lu, when suddenly I heard my stepsister's voice outside the door. Sister, it's so late, where are you going? Brother Lou just told me to keep a close eye on you. He'll come pick you up himself at 7 tomorrow morning. I pounded on the door frantically, shouting, open up, if you don't open the door, I'm calling the police. My stepsister giggled and said, sorry, sister, I just remembered, I installed a cell signal jammer at home. It seems like we don't have any signal now. I picked up my phone and checked. Sure enough, there was no signal. I collapsed completely on the ground. Could it be that I'm truly destined to die at the hands of Lu Jingxian and Song Onqin, just as the bullet comments said, to make way for their forbidden love? No, there must be another way. The next morning, Lu Jingxian indeed arrived in a car from the Lu family to pick me and Song Onqin up. The stepmother beamed and ushered the three of us out the door. Xinxin, listen to your brother Lu and take good care of your sister. Looking at the stepmother's malicious gaze, I knew she must also be aware of Lu Jingxian and Song Onqin's scheme. After getting in the car, the phone signal jammer installed in the villa stopped working, so I quickly sent a pre-written text message and closed my eyes, pretending to be angry. Through the rearview mirror, I saw Lu Jingxian and Song Onqin pressed tightly together. Familiar bullet comments appeared before my eyes once more. Ah, so intense. The male lead looks all serious on the surface, but in reality, one hand has already reached behind the girl, undoing her bra clasp, the girl is melting under the male lead's touch, truly living up to her innate succubus saint physique. What's this? Just a little appetizer. Do you remember that time when the female side character had a severe cold? The male lead deliberately gave her double the dose of cold medicine, and she was unconscious in the room, while the male lead was in the next room, pinning our little sister against the wall, relentlessly teasing her, and asking if it was exciting. Oh my god, that's so thrilling. I closed my eyes, clenching my teeth tightly, tears welling up in my eyes. Why, Lu Jingxian, I've always believed that from childhood to now. I've never done anything wrong to you. I've endured so much hardship and injustice with you. Even if you've fallen for someone else and no longer love me, you shouldn't treat me like this. A wave of overwhelming hatred spreads through my heart. Lu Jingxian, you'd better not lay a hand on me, otherwise, I'll show you what it means to work hard for nothing. The tour bus drove deeper into the mountains. The further it went, the more remote it became. After driving on the mountain road for over an hour, we finally reached the campsite at the summit. I was queuing to get a tent when suddenly Lu Jingxian reached out and took the tent from my hand. Ran, you're not feeling well. Go rest over there, I'll set up the tent for you. The surrounding classmates erupted into suggestive teasing. My stepsister's face flushed red with anger as she gritted her teeth and said, Sister, brother Lu is so good to you. Since he personally set up this tent, you must really enjoy it tonight. I smiled and sat to the side, quietly observing the scene. I watched as Lu Jingxian deliberately bypassed the liveliest central area of the campsite and the safest stargazing platform, heading straight for the most remote corner near the woods. I pretended to look up at the scenery, but in reality, I was intently watching the barrage of comments flashing rapidly before my eyes. The male lead is so bad. In a moment, he's going to lie to the female supporting character, saying he set up the tent so far away just to spend time alone with her. Actually, it's to avoid the rest of the class and secretly get up to all sorts of things with the female lead. Poor female supporting character. When she was dragged into the woods by a few escaped convicts and subjected to abuse, she kept desperately calling out the male lead's name. Unfortunately, by then, the male lead was already wearing noise-canceling headphones courtesy of the female lead. Double the excitement, the plot has finally reached this point. After tonight, the female supporting character will be brutally assaulted and left disabled, waking up in the hospital only to lose her mind. Once she's sent to the mental institution by the female lead's mother, all the dowry left by her own mother will belong to our precious female lead, Amidst the dense barrage of bullet comments, there were also voices speaking up for me. Doesn't anyone think the male and female leads went too far? If the male lead didn't like the supporting female character, he could have just broken up with her directly. Why did he have to drug her with sleeping pills and let those fugitives completely ruin her? The female lead is no better. She heard her sister being dragged into the woods by the fugitives and deliberately put noise-canceling headphones on the male lead. Isn't she just too vicious, supporting female character? Whatever you do, don't sleep in that tent tonight. If necessary, squeeze in with other classmates. Safety first, There are only 2 tents by that small grove. Sister supporting character? Don't go stay there. It would be hilarious if those escaped convicts took away the scumbag guy and the bitchy girl. The barrage suggestion stirred something in my heart. The class monitor brought back a case of chilled drinks with some people. I grabbed a bottle of cold milk and chugged it down in one go. Before long, my stomach started hurting, and I made 3 or 4 trips to the bathroom in half an hour. When Lu Jingxian finished setting up both tents and came to find me, I was already lying in the cultural committee member's tent, clutching my stomach, my face pale with pain. What's wrong? Did you eat something bad? Lu Jingxian frowned and looked at me. I nodded with difficulty. It was too hot just now, and I accidentally drank a whole bottle of iced milk, so I got diarrhea. Lu Jingxian looked at me with displeasure. Song Anren, are you doing this on purpose, just because I brought Xinxin out to play? You're jealous of her and pretending to be sick so I'd take care of you. My stepsister followed and, hearing Lu Jingxuan's words, immediately teared up with grievance. Sister, I really didn't mean to disturb you and brother Lu. If you're unhappy, I'll leave right now. Seeing my stepsister's pitiful expression, Lu Jingxuan's heart ached terribly. Grabbing my stepsister's hand, he said to me with a serious expression, Song Anren, there should be limits to your jealousy. Xinxin is your sister. How could you insult her with such filthy thoughts? Apologize to Xinxin now. Also, the tent has already been set up for you. Move there immediately. I remained silent, but the class literary committee member couldn't hold back and scolded him on my behalf. Lu Jingxian, are you blind? Can't you see Anren is in so much pain she can't even stand up? She's this sick. How do you expect her to move? The class monitor also disagreed, saying, Anren isn't feeling well. She should squeeze in with us tonight. It's closer to the portable toilets here. Lu Jingxian, I saw the tent you set up. It's so far from the campsite, even going to the bathroom would be inconvenient. Anren really shouldn't stay there. That's not acceptable, Lu Jingxian and Song Anqin said in unison. Everyone looked at them with strange eyes. Song Anqin pretended to be obedient and said to the class monitor, let sister stay in her own tent. If it's really not possible, I can take care of her at night. Lu Jingxian also nodded and said, didn't the tour guide bring some anti-diarrhea medicine? Give Anren 2 pills and let her sleep well tonight. Maybe she'll be better tomorrow. Seeing the two of them talking back and forth, each sentence filled with the intent to kill me, I covered my mouth, the physical nausea making me vomit uncontrollably. My appearance frightened the class monitor and the other students. Even the tour guide in charge was alarmed, seeing me vomiting and diarrhea, and immediately decided, no, in this situation, we must take him to the hospital immediately. The class monitor looked serious and picked up his phone to call 120. Lu Jingxian rushed over and snatched the monitor's phone. No need to call 120, XN and I will take Anren to the hospital. It seems they're determined to ruin me today. Suddenly, the roar of a helicopter echoed outside the tent. A tall figure lifted the tent flap and stepped inside. Uncle, I cried out in overwhelming joy, throwing myself into his arms and bursting into loud sobs. Actually, after my mother passed away that year, my grandmother had my uncle come to the Song family to take me back, but at the time, my father and stepmother were eyeing the substantial dowry my mother had left for me, so they strongly urged me to stay. Moreover, I couldn't bear to part with Lu Jingxian, my childhood sweetheart, so I declined my grandmother and uncle's offer. Fortunately, my grandmother and uncle never forgot about me. This morning, as soon as my car drove out of the mobile signal dead zone, I immediately sent a help message to both my uncle and grandmother. The message included the exact time and location of our class camping trip. I anticipated that my grandmother and uncle would definitely send someone to pick me up, but I never expected the scale to be this grand. My uncle brought 2 helicopters, accompanied by a medical team and 8 bodyguards on board. I was carried out of the tent by my uncle, catching a glimpse of the scene behind me from the corner of my eye. Lu Jingxian and my stepsisters' faces looked as if they'd seen a ghost. My stepsister bit her lip, seemingly unwilling to accept the situation, and spoke up to try and stop me. Sis, it's a once-in-a-lifetime high school graduation trip. Are you really going to give it up? Don't you want to know what Brother Lu will say to you tonight? Lu Jingxian also walked over, speaking to me in a tone that was half threatening, half coaxing. Ran, think carefully. If you back out now, I'll have to go on the graduation trip with Xinxin alone. I suppressed the urge to confront him on the spot, pretending to be dejected as I lowered my head and whispered, Lu Jingxian, My mind is in chaos right now, let me be alone for a while, okay? Mistakenly thinking I was still jealous of him and my stepsister, a smug smile flickered across Lu Jingshuan's face. Deliberately in front of me, he took my stepsister's hand and stepped aside. Ran, there are still 3 days left of our graduation trip. I'll give you 2 days to think it over on the last day. If you still haven't rejoined the group, I'll have no choice but to take Xinshin to the next stop alone. I nodded slightly, but inwardly sneered. Just moments ago, that mysterious barrage comment appeared once more. Does Song Anshin really think that by spending a little money, those desperate criminals would obediently follow her orders? The barrage told me those men were all Class A wanted fugitives who had originally planned to flee overseas by sea. Song Anshin somehow found these people and told them that a group of high school graduates would be coming here for camping. When the time came, she would arrange for one girl to stay alone in the tent near the woods, telling them not to hold back. Just kidnap the girl and have a taste of something fresh. A taste of something fresh, huh? Song Anshin, this time I left early. Let's see how you plan to let those desperate men have a taste of something fresh when you can't hand anyone over. Before leaving, I secretly sent private messages to the class monitor and several class committee members. I told them that when camping in the wilderness, they must pay attention to safety, and it would be best if everyone's tents were close together at night. For safety reasons, the other classmates would definitely follow this advice, but Lu Jingxian and Song Anshin might not necessarily comply. Sure enough, once night fell, the bullet comments became active again. Wow, I thought the female supporting character had left, and the first time between the main couple wouldn't be exciting enough. But I didn't expect the female lead to be so bold, so thrilling. The female lead actually dragged the male lead into the female supporting character's tent, wearing the supporting character's pajamas on purpose, and used the pajama belt to blindfold the male lead, making him mistake her for the supporting character. What kind of reverse body swap literature is this? Amazing, love watching it, female lead. Why are you wearing your sister's pajamas? Ellie's lines keep getting more golden. If we're going for thrills, might as well go all the way. The thought of those two fooling around in my tent nearly made me vomit the tonic I'd just drunk. Fortunately, it's all about to be over because, as the barrage comments informed me, those fugitives have already found the tent that was supposed to be mine. The moment the tent was lifted, Song Anshin let out a short scream, but she immediately shut her mouth when she saw who it was. Why are you here? Didn't I send you a message telling you not to come? The leader, a man with a scar, looked at her stepsister with a sinister gaze, then glanced at the delicate and fair-skinned Lu Jingxian. A few desperados glanced at each other and exchanged satisfied smiles. Then, suddenly, something happened. Bullet comments erupted into a jumble of garbled symbols, as if some mysterious force had censored them. It wasn't until the next morning that I received a call from the squad leader, learning that something had gone wrong at the camping base last night. I heard that when the students woke up in the morning and gathered for assembly, they noticed that Lu Jingxian and his stepsister hadn't shown up, so they went to the tent area to call out for them. Upon arriving, they discovered that both their hiking gear and undergarments had been left outside the tent, and by the looks of it, Lu Jingxian and my stepsister must have shared the same tent last night. A group of innocent high school students had never witnessed such a scene before. They were so shocked that they immediately ran away. The class monitor was also furious, thinking about how the graduation trip he had meticulously planned had become the place where Lu Jingxian cheated and had a secret affair. The monitor immediately lost all desire to deal with him, so the entire class left Lu Jingxian and his stepsister behind and followed the original plan, climbing to the mountaintop to watch the sunrise. When they returned, they noticed the tent was still eerily silent, which made them realize something was wrong. A few boys lifted the tent flap and were immediately overwhelmed by the smell of blood inside, forcing them to back away. The situation has escalated. The class monitor and tour guide immediately called the police. Both the ambulance, 120, and police, 110, arrived at the same time. It said that Lu Jingxian and my stepsister didn't have a single patch of unblemished skin left on their bodies, as if they had endured some inhuman treatment. The night before, the barrage fell into silence. They probably didn't expect that the tragic fate originally meant for me would now fall upon the male and female leads, with such a big incident involving my stepsister. My father and stepmother were frantic and rushed to the hospital overnight to stay by her side. I also took the opportunity to bring my uncle back to the Song family to handle a major matter. While my father was away, I took every single piece of the dowry my mother left me and moved it all back to my grandmother's house. As for the shares and savings that my father had secretly transferred to my stepmother and stepsister, my uncle asked me to sign a power of attorney so that the lawyer could help me recover them. Fortunately, I'm already over 18 years old. Before my mother passed away, she made a will and had it notarized. According to the will, I am the sole legal heir to those dowries. My dad wants to secretly use the dowry my mom left for me to support his new wife and stepdaughter. Dream on the day after moving the dowry, my phone started ringing non-stop. My father was furious on the phone. Song Anran, who gave you permission to steal from our home? You have 1 day to return everything immediately. I calmly replied, is that your family stuff? My stepmother cried and begged on the phone. Ran, I've treated you well all these years. Why are you making someone send me a lawyer's letter? I scoffed. Ning Wan, all these years you've been spending the dowry my mother left for me. Isn't it only right that you serve me well? And as for why I sent you a lawyer's letter, don't you already know the answer? You have 3 days to return all the shares and jewelry my mother left me, otherwise, we'll settle this in court. After regaining consciousness in the hospital, my stepsister frantically called me. Song Anran, why was it me who had to? Why wasn't it you? Of course I wouldn't leave her any leverage. Who knows if she might secretly turn on call recording. Shin, what are you talking about? I can't understand a word you're saying. I heard you got injured and hospitalized during that camping trip. Where were you hurt? The other end of the line immediately erupted with rapid, agitated breathing, followed by the sound of a glass shattering. Hilarious. Song Anshin naturally wouldn't dare reveal where she was injured. Such a proud and image-conscious person, now reaping the consequences of her own actions. She must be absolutely furious by now. Another person who was furious was Lu Zhengxian. He never in his wildest dreams imagined that among the people his stepsister had hired, there would actually be someone who liked men. The proud and arrogant Lu Zhengxian was thus violated by 2 men. I heard when they were taken to the hospital, they couldn't even hold in their piss and shit at that point. Tsk. I never expected Lu Zhengxian to still have the nerve to call me after all this. Song Anran, do you know that? Because she had to accompany you on the graduation trip, Shinshin's entire life was ruined. You must take responsibility for this. Oh, then how do you expect me to take responsibility? On the other end of the phone, Lu Zhengxian seemed convinced that I would, as before, tolerate and cater to him, and he issued his command with an air of self-righteousness. You go to the police station immediately and turn yourself in. Tell them that the men who bullied Shinshin were all hired by you with money, that Shinshin is innocent, and demand the police drop all investigations against her. Also, because of this incident, Shinshin has suffered significant physical and psychological harm. To comfort her, I've decided to marry Shinshin and register our marriage as soon as possible. Song Anran, the reason Shinshin has ended up like this is entirely because of you. So, to atone for your sins, you should give half of the dowry your mother left you to Shinshin as her wedding gift. Listening to Lu Zhengshuan's shameless request, I was so angry I laughed. Lu Zhengxian, I heard that you and Song Anshin were violated in my tent. I'd like to know why, in the middle of the night, with no reason at all, you and my sister, a man and a woman alone, would be in my tent on the other end of the line. Lu Zhengxian fell silent for a moment before flusteredly defending himself. What nonsense are you talking about? Cindy and I, it's not what you think. It doesn't matter anymore. Lu Zhengxian, let's break up. I interrupted his feeble excuses. Silence filled the line once more before Lu Zhengxian gritted his teeth and demanded, Song Anran, do you also think I'm dirty now? If it were the old me, no matter how wronged I felt, I would still have considered Lu Zhengshuan's dignity, but now, I couldn't help but sneer. That's right, I think you're dirty, Lu Zhengxian. First you had an affair with my stepsister, and then those men. Don't you think, after you've become so tainted, I'd still cherish you the way I used to? But don't blame me. Blame the one who led the fugitive here. As for who that person is, I don't need to say it, you already know in your heart, right? After saying that, I didn't hesitate any longer and directly hung up the phone, giving him the full service of deletion and blocking. In the following days, my dad and stepmom took turns calling me, alternating between threats and pleas. They kept repeating the same thing over and over. I hope I can voluntarily go to the police station to turn myself in and admit That I was the one who brought in those fugitives. This way, their beloved daughter Song Anshin would no longer be under investigation by the police. I didn't say yes, nor did I say no, just kept them hanging on purpose, giving them hope so they wouldn't have time to look for other options. A few days later, my dad called me for the last time, his voice weak and lifeless, as if he had been drained of his last bit of energy. Song Anran, your sister has been detained by the police. Are you satisfied? Now, I really don't understand. Even if you and Shinshin aren't biological sisters, you grew up together, why would you do this to her? I smiled. Was it me who harmed her, or was it her who harmed me? Song. Sometimes I really wonder if Song Anshin is your and Ning Wanwan's love child. Otherwise, why would you help someone else's daughter repeatedly, falsely accusing your own biological daughter? On the other end of the phone, my father gasped and scolded, Song Anran, we're still a family after all. Not for long. What do you mean? So, Mr. Song, I got into college, and since my uncle was near the university, he bought me an apartment, so I just took the opportunity to move my household registration out of the Song family. From now on, you, Ning Wanwan, and Song Anshin, you are the real family. After hanging up the phone, I casually blocked and deleted my dad as well. Their news appeared again, this time on the trending headlines, during the summer vacation. Student safety has always been a matter of particular concern, not to mention a group of fresh high school graduates who had just finished their college entrance exams. They were nearly harmed by a few escaped desperados. Angry parents immediately demanded accountability from the travel agency and the camping base. Travel agencies and camping bases nearly scoured all the surveillance footage along the route to absolve themselves of responsibility. Finally, a wildlife conservation surveillance camera set up on the mountaintop accidentally captured the entire transaction between Song Anshin and those fugitives. Upon learning the truth, Lu Zhengxian completely lost his mind. It's said that he had originally spent a fortune to hire a team of lawyers for Song Anshin, but after the truth came to light, he immediately dismissed the entire legal team. He also declared that from then on, anything related to Song Anshin would have nothing to do with him. Unexpectedly, Song Anshin hated him for not saving her when she was in danger, and even told the police that Lu Zhengxian was actually aware of the incident, and that the money used to bribe those escaped prisoners was also given by Lu Zhengxian. That's when I realized that Lu Zhengxian, who claimed to love girls who are independent and strong, had secretly given his secondary bank card to my stepsister. Sure enough, where the money is, there the love lies. But perhaps even Lu Zhengxian himself never imagined that the secondary card he gave to his stepsister would end up sending him to prison because of suspected involvement in joint criminal activity. Lu Zhengxian was soon detained as well. It's said that during interrogations, the two kept shifting blame onto each other, desperately trying to pin responsibility on the other. In the end, the police found a secretly recorded video on the stepsister's phone. The video clearly captured the stepsister telling Lu Zhengxian that she planned to hire some thugs to play a joke on me. Once my reputation was ruined, I'd naturally be too ashamed to insist on marrying Lu Zhengxian, and Lu Zhengxian clearly already knew that his stepsister was going to have someone harm me, yet he did nothing, only giving a mild warning to let her not go too far. He actually tacitly allowed his stepsister to have someone hurt me. With this video, plus the secondary card belonging to Lu Zhengxian, this time Lu Zhengxian couldn't clear his name even if he jumped into the Yellow River. Soon, the verdict for Lu Zhengxian and Song Anshin was announced. Song Anshin, as the mastermind, was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Lu Zhengxian, as an accomplice, was sentenced to 2 years in prison. By then, I had already taken my acceptance letter and entered the university of my dreams. Not long after, I heard that Lu Zhengxian had been officially stripped of his inheritance rights by Lu's father due to his imprisonment outside. Lu's father had more than just Lu Zhengxian as an illegitimate son. Those bastards were all vying for their father's attention. According to the spoilers in the bullet comments, after Lu Zhengxian let Song Anshin harm me, Song Anshin got her hands on the massive dowry my mother left for me. Thanks to these dowries, Lu Zhengxian was viewed more favorably by his father, eventually becoming the next leader of the Lu family. This time, because of the spoilers in the bullet comments, I didn't obediently join this deadly graduation trip as they wished. Those who conspired were ultimately consumed by their own schemes. Justice has been served, and retribution is inevitable. Later, I heard that Lu Zhengxian attempted suicide in prison, crying and begging to see me. I chose not to meet him as a victim. I have the right to choose. And I will never forgive for the rest of their lives. Let him and Song Anran rot and fester in prison, hating each other. After everything ended, I raised my head only to find that the bullet comments, which had disappeared for a long time, suddenly reappeared. Fantastic. The supporting female character defied fate. This is what we strong women should be watching. I'm sick of the three realms being sacrificed for the male and female lead's love. Why should innocent bystanders suffer? The supporting female character did an amazing job. Finally, the morally questionable male and female leads got what they deserved. For this alone, I'm giving this book full marks. I secretly opened the treasured mutai I had taken from the Song family, filled my glass, and raised it in a toast to the barrage of comments on the screen. Thank you, respect justice. Respect all the expendable female side characters who defy fate. After hearing this story, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. We look forward to hearing from you.